Hey guys, welcome back to Honkai Star Rail. In today's video, we're going to be doing a bit of a fun one, and that is the Blade Solo MOC10. Now, keep in mind, this one is on an E6 S1 blade. I'll talk about it more at the end when we look at the build, but just know that is where his build is at. It's a bit of fun. He's a very interesting character because, playing him as a solo, playing him as a team unit, it's fairly splashable, especially if you got Luocha. But playing him as a team unit, there's some situations where you might not want to use his skill because you're trying to conserve HP, so you just use a normal basic attack so that you're not consuming on every attack. Then you can proc either his ultimate or his follow-up attack to get himself healed and then play around. So when you're doing the solo thing, it's obviously a meme because it's soloing the hardest content in the game. But if you are going to experiment with soloing, just know sometimes you do have to hold on to your ultimate, use it in an ideal time, wait till you're super low before your ult. Also, using your skills and basics to consume HP at different times to line up when he's going to proc that final proc to get his follow-up attack. There is a little bit to it, but essentially the dude is chunky and deals really good damage. So I'll leave you guys with the replay. Unfortunately, I recorded it without audio, so we'll just put some tunes on and then I'll come back at the end and show you the full build. Okay, so now let's go through the build for the Blade. If we go into our stats, you can see our stat spread. We did have a good chunk of HP, also pretty solid speed. Now, we also decent crit rate, average crit damage. You'll see that we did put HP percent on the chest because we were prioritizing the tankiness. I also did put a lot into effect resistance, hoping to avoid some of those imprisons, but I don't think we actually avoided any of them. So, you know, that's a thing. Then the light cone is his signature light cone at level 80, super imposition 1, so just a base single copy. Traces are completely maxed out. Eidolons, we are at Eidolon 6, which begs the question, could you do this at E0? You are losing a fair bit of damage, obviously, through 3 and 5, and the actual damage increases on 1 and 6, and also 4. But let's talk about it quickly, because this one is damage. You could, I guess, if you have it working properly, and you're just surviving, you can defeat the enemy slower. This one's crit rate, which you can get through gear. This one's extra HP, which technically you could get through gear, but it's a lot of HP to get. And this one is sort of, E6 is kind of the big one because you do get reduced stacks to 4. So, you know, let's see. I think someone will eventually do it, E0, because the dude is just cracked. And let's face it, this is for meme value of soloing content. Like, put him with a healer and you're perfectly fine. There ain't going to be issues. So, dude's pretty cracked. Then we jump into relics. We are on the new set, giving him the HP and a good chunk of crit rate. I do really like this set on him. Now, when we look at this, you'll see this one was just a really good piece with HP, crit rate, crit damage. The hands, we had effect resistance is why I chose this one, plus HP, plus defensive stats, plus crit damage. It's like just an even spread of everything. We went for HP on the chest instead of crit damage, just so we had that bit more survivability. Plus this had 9 speed, which wasn't too bad. The boots, we had speed, also had a good chunk of effect resistance and HP. Once again, I was going for effect resistance when I was building him, even though we didn't resist anything. On the orb, we went for HP. Yes, you could go wind damage. Once again, this is his solo build. If I was going with a team, I'd have crit damage and wind damage. But, you know, because he's going by himself, we're trying to get chunky as we can. So this one also had a good chunk of effect resistance, which we didn't use again. And this one was HP as well with a bit of defense, which, you know, even though he deals damage based on HP, the defense is good for mitigation. And then we had the effect resistance and crit damage on there too. So that was his relic. So that is it. That was the Blade solo build. Let me know what you think. Like I said, I'm curious to see if someone does it E0. I think it would be possible. I am just not personally good enough. That's where we're at. That is Blade. Hope you have a good one.